This is a Juniperus Parsonii. I collected this tree out of a landscape about 10 years ago. It's been in this bonsai pot for about 3 years and it was repotted last year. I'd never wired it or shaped it because there's a real big flaw with it being perfectly straight here. There was no bend in it, and it was really too thick to raffia and bend. And when I first did this, I looked at this tree, I thought, well, I'll just eliminate this whole thing or gin it and then make the tree out of this, which is a great way to do it. However, this back branch really became pretty vigorous and grew well and thickened, and really, even though it's in the wrong position, would end up being a great top. So what I did is I took the top that was here, eliminated it, and ginned the whole top, hollowed it last year, and this year I continued to give it some more interest. Because it's so straight, we want it to have some interest and some visible attractiveness. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this branch and I'm going to raffia it, and I'm going to bring it forward into the composition. This is my front currently, but there's no top, so we're going to create that top. And then I'm going to wire this whole thing, every branch, every little sub branch. Juniper Parsonii is one of my favorite larger growth junipers. The foliage is a little bit more coarse, however it has adult foliage and it maintains adult foliage really well. And with repeated trimming it does get very dense, and it reminds me a little bit of the coarser shimpakus that you see in Japan. Not the Itoigawa or the Kishu finer stuff, but the coarser shimpakus. It's a nice plant, and with wiring and shaping it can be exceptional. Hey everybody, it's the next day. I used the raffia just like I said. I used real heavy copper wire. I used a guy wire to pull some branches back. The raffia worked just like it was supposed to. There is 2 potential fronts on this, but I tend to leave more foliage on a juniper on the first styling. I always err on the side of more foliage because that's how junipers get their strength, is through their foliage. And I really like this front. It's not the original front that I originally was going to use. This was the front that I was going to use. This is not a real strong base, but it is pretty dynamic, and you can see some of the deadwood and the hollows. However, turning it around, I really like this. It's a little bit more gentle taper, and you can see the hollow trunk here, and I like this base a little better, especially once I arrange these roots. And once this branch comes down and we have some more padding filling it in, I think this is really going to be a spectacular larger tree. Up to the deadwood, it's almost 18 inches, 15 inches at the top of the crown. It's a 3-inch trunk, about an 8-inch base, and it's a 14-inch pot. So it's a good size, good comfortable size, and it's got some really good bones. Like I carved this interest in here a while back and then added to it because originally this is going to be the front. I'm going to do the same thing over here on this front, so it'll be more dynamic for the viewer, a little more interesting. When it's solid like this, it's always kind of boring to me. I like to see you know, a little bit more grooved and a little bit more aged deadwood. But it's nice. Leaving more foliage on here after the heavy bend will help that heal faster. I'll probably leave the raffia on there for a year. Sometimes we even leave them on a little bit longer. The problem with doing really heavy bends like that is it takes a long time for them to set, sometimes up to 2 years. But it is all done with copper wire, and it'll be a nice tree, probably in 2 or 3 more wirings.